there, crafty friends. Welcome back to my channel, LaFonda Crafts. We're going to make a love angel today. Now, this is going to be pretty neutral, so it will work for Valentine's Day or every day. So I'm starting off with a styrofoam cone and a sphere, and I have a little piece of wire. I'm just poking the wire into the ball. I had poked the top of my cone, and I'm adding some hot glue to join the two together. So the cone will be the body of the angel and the sphere will be the head of the angel. I think the sphere is 1.3 inches. The cone might be about 6 inches tall. I know I've measured it, but I don't remember the exact measurements. So I'm just wiping off some of that excess glue that squeezed out. And I'm taking this macrame cord, I'm just cutting off the end. And we're gonna wrap the whole thing with this macrame cord. And I believe the cord is 4 millimeters thick. So I'm just gonna use hot glue and go all the way around the angel. So I've previously made this type of angel before, and I used a smaller cord. So this thicker cord is just a little bit of a different look, and I will link the other video that I have. It's just a quick little reel from my channel of how I made a spring angel in this same type of manner before. So we're just going to go all the way around, and when I get to this little point where I started, I just kind of go up, and I will try to make this the back of the angel because the lines aren't as straight there because of where I started gluing in the cord, but eventually the lines do kind of straighten out and it's not that noticeable. So I've gone all the way up the cone there, and where the two pieces of foam meet, I just keep wrapping. So I've slowed down the video here, and I'm just wrapping and around like the neck of the angel, and then I'll go on to the head of the angel. So it's all like one continuous cord. If you do like run out of cord in the, while you're wrapping this, I would kind of try to have like a union point like in the back so it's not that noticeable. So here on the top of the head, again, I'm just wrapping all the way around, and on the top of the angel's head, it'll just look like a swirl once you get to the end. So you just keep going round and round. And I'm using Gorilla Glue sticks. I like these for my hot glue. I find that they're just really good quality glue sticks. So as I get to the end here, I'll just kind of eyeball how much I need for the very end, and I'll trim it and then just glue the little end down. And I'm using some tweezers there just to pick off some excess glue. I don't know about you, but I really don't like those glue globs, and I try to remove them as best as I can. So there I'm just showing you where I had started. So it's the lines are kind of a little bit slanted, so I tend to make that the back. And as I'm wrapping my cord, I try to, keep it as tight as I can so the styrofoam won't poke out. And I'm using this little grapevine heart as the wings of my love angel. So I'm gluing there the top of the heart with some hot glue, and then I glue the bottom. So since this grapevine heart is not the most even surface, I want to really make sure that it's on there securely, it's not going to fall off. So I'm using this brown floral wire, and I'm going to poke that into the cone just to make sure that the heart has another sort of layer of attachment. So I used that little tool. It's just like a sharp little point on the end, and I poked through the macrame, like in between the macrame rows, into the foam cone. I poked it in. Now I'm just working the wire in to the foam, and I'm wrapping it around the heart. So there I'm poking another hole on the other side of the grapevine so I can poke in the wire. So this wire is it's very thin. It's probably like a 22 gauge wire. So it's very easy to work with. And I'm getting some pliers just to help myself there because it's kind of hard to push the wire through with just my fingers. So now with the pliers, I can work with the wire a lot easier and just kind of feed it through into the foam. And there I'm just pushing it, making sure it's securely in there. I'll cut another little piece of the floral wire, and I'll do the same thing to the other side of the heart. And then I'll also do the same thing on the top of the heart. Like I said, I just want to make sure that it's securely on there. It's not going to fall off. And that's just my way of making sure I've got a good attachment. So here's the angel so far with the little grapevine heart wings. Now I get this wire from Michaels. It's an 18 gauge covered wire. It looks a lot like grapevine, so I thought it would be a nice complementary wire to add as the halo for the angel. And I'm just showing you just as a reference, this is like a 2-ounce bottle of wood glue, so I'm just using it to wrap the wire around for the halo. And I did 2 loops for the halo, so you can use whatever you have in your stash as to wrap around. So like I said, that was a 2-ounce bottle. You can use like a 2-ounce bottle of paint, or if you want it a little bigger or a little smaller, however you want it. So I've got my 2 loops here, and I'm just wrapping the end around to close my loops. And I will have a kit available in my online shop for this love angel. It'll include everything that you need to make the angel yourself if you're interested in that. My goal is to list that kit in the next couple of days. So if you're watching this video right when it comes out, I might not have the kit available right away, but within the next couple of days or so, I should have that ready to go. And I'll just have a few kits available for those who are interested. So once I got my loop all set for the halo, I again used that little pokey tool that I have, and I had gotten that a long time ago at Dollar Tree. It's very useful. I use it all the time for all sorts of things. So I poke the hole. I make sure it's just a good fit for my halo. And since this is a covered wire, some of the cover, whatever it is that it's covered with, is started to get undone at the end of that wire. So I just added a little bit of hot glue just to make sure it's nice and sealed and it doesn't come undone. And I'm just trimming some little stray wrapping there. So once I know where I want the halo to go into, I'll add some hot glue and poke it right into the little head there. And then I'm just bending it just so it goes on her head the way I want it to go. And then I'm just using the tweezers there just to get it exactly how I want. And there she is, looking so cute so far. This is Folk Art acrylic paint in warm white, and I'm painting up this round plaque. I give up 2 coats. I don't show it here completely, but I do give it 2 coats. So after it was all dry, I decided that maybe I didn't want to use that plaque because it's just too much white for me. I decided to get another plaque and just stain it, and I used some Folk Art antiquing wax and a little baby wipe and just stain another round plaque. I thought maybe with the stained wood it might go a little bit better. There might be a little bit more contrast that would be more appealing to the eye. So I'm just going around and staining that. Now I'm just giving this a light sanding just to smooth everything out. This is some leftover macrame cord. It was like 3 cords twisted together, so I'm just untwisting them to get one of the cords. And I want to make arms for the angel because the angel will be holding a heart. So I'm just cutting this off, and I'm gonna make a knot at the end, and that will be like the angel's hand. So I'm just making a knot, and I will trim the excess off. And if you do order a kit, you can paint the base whatever color you want. You can stain it, however you would like to have your base, and whatever would match your decor. Your kit will include some greenery, but you can use whatever greenery or florals that you would like. So I've got this rusty heart, and that will be included. And so I want to have the angel like holding the rusty heart. So I'm just kind of handling this by the edges because it is real rust. And I'm just going in with a little bit of glue to glue it on to the angel. And then I will attach her little hands on. and it'll be like she's holding the heart. So I'm just seeing here how I should place everything, how her arm should go. So I just added a little bit of glue so I can attach it to the heart. And then I'll add a little bit of glue to glue on her arm. Oh, sorry, here I'm doing the other hand. So I'm just doing the same thing, adding a little dab of glue. This might be better with like some tacky glue, just because, you know, hot glue on metal, which that heart is metal, it's not the most secure. So next time I do this, I might use some tacky glue and just be patient and, you know, for the glue to dry. But for now, this is good. So there I'm just gluing down the arm, and then I will trim down the excess macrame cord. So there I am, just trimming it down. And I do the same thing for the other arm. So now I'm just trying to decide which side of the plaque I want to be in the front. And I'll just hot glue the angel onto the plaque. So I'm just waiting for the glue to set up a little bit. And now I have some Spanish moss that I will add to the plaque. It'll just go around the bottom of the angel. And I find that Spanish moss is just a nice way to kind of soften things when you have like two pieces coming together. It's just a nice way to sort of soften those hard edges. So I'm just going around the whole angel and hot gluing the moss. And then just kind of trimming off some straggly pieces here. So here I've got some greenery and some little heather stems. So like I said, I wanted to just stick with neutral colors for this angel so it could work year round in your decor, or it could work with anyone's decor. So I'm trimming that greenery, and I'm just trying to figure out where I want to glue it in. I'm adding some hot glue to the end, and I'm just kind of gluing it into the moss, tucking it in so you can't see where it starts. So there it is so far. So for the other piece of greenery, I trimmed it into smaller pieces, and I just added those around the angel into the moss. So I did sort of play around with this for a while, seeing if I wanted to add the heather stems, and ultimately I decided not to. I just liked the way the brown and the off-white looked with just that sage green of the greenery. But if you were to make your own angel, you can add, pink, red, whatever colors would match your style, your decor. And in the end, I'll show you how the angel looks on my side table. And I'm really pleased with it. I hope you like it. I hope you learned something new. And I would love it if you give me some feedback in the comments. I would love it if you subscribe to my channel. And thanks so much for just taking the time out and joining me here in this video. I hope you come back again for more crafty ideas.